Have you ever felt stuck? Like an undertow is pulling you out to sea, and no matter how hard you swim, you just keep getting further from shore. That's what anxiety can feel like. It's a tightening in the chest, a racing heart, a whirlwind of what-ifs that threaten to consume everything. It's not just discomfort, it's a life lived on the edge of overwhelm. And our first instinct, to turn and swim away from the feeling, to build walls, to distract, to disappear. /n/n. But what if I told you that running doesn't solve the problem? What if, in fact, it makes it worse? What if the key isn't to avoid anxiety, but to understand it, to walk through it, and ultimately, to change your relationship to it altogether? I'm Emma McAdam, and I'm a licensed therapist. And today, we're going to explore a step-by-step approach to processing your anxiety, not just coping with it. This isn't about quick fixes or pretending everything is okay. This is about developing skills that will fundamentally shift how you experience and respond to this universal human emotion. /n/n will look at three individuals, Bob, Jane, and Fred, each grappling with a different form of anxiety. Bob battles social anxiety, constantly second-guessing himself and fearing judgment. Jane experiences a pervasive, generalized anxiety, a low hum of unease that seems to have no clear source. And Fred is paralyzed by event anxiety, dreading an upcoming presentation that carries significant weight. Their stories will serve as a guide, illustrating how you can apply these techniques to your own life. /n/n. This isn't just theoretical. These are in-depth skills, tools to resolve anxiety at its core. If you'd like a free download summarizing these 5 steps, you'll find a link in the description below. Let's begin with the first step. Observe. /n/n. Observation is the cornerstone of emotional processing. It's about turning towards the discomfort instead of away from it. It's like being a scientist studying a phenomenon. You don't judge the phenomenon, you simply gather data. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What thoughts are swirling in my mind? And crucially, what sensations am I experiencing in my body? /n/n. Often when I ask clients this, they'll describe physical sensations: cold hands, a tight stomach, tense shoulders. It's as if the anxiety is speaking through the body. Don't dismiss these signals. Pay attention to them. Give them a little space. Because when we try to suppress our feelings, we're essentially stuffing rocks into a backpack and expecting to walk comfortably. It's exhausting, and the weight only grows heavier. As Freud wisely observed, buried feelings never truly die. /n/n. Take Jane, for example, with her generalized anxiety. She might start by simply noticing, I feel jittery, restless, almost vibrating. And I don't even know why. Or, there's a tightness in my chest like a band squeezing. At first, acknowledging these sensations might actually amplify them. That's okay. It's a natural response. But as you lean into the discomfort, you'll begin to realize something profound. You can feel these things, and you can still handle them. Your body is resilient. It's capable of weathering the storm. And often, simply by acknowledging the sensations, they begin to settle, to lose their power. /n/n. Observation also extends to our thoughts. Jane might notice she's thinking, I wish this would just go away. But instead of getting caught up in the thought, she can step back and say, I'm having the thought that I wish this would go away. This is a skill called diffusion, creating space between yourself and your internal experience. You are not your thoughts. You are the person having the thoughts. You are not your feelings. You are the person experiencing the feelings. This subtle shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. \n, and finally, be specific. Instead of just saying, I feel anxious, try to pinpoint the nuance of the emotion. Is it apprehension, excitement, nervousness, dread, fear, scared, frightened, unsettled, worried, concerned? The more precise you are, the more power you have. Bob, struggling with social anxiety, might say, I feel nervous about going to the party, or I feel scared that I won't know what to say. \n, remember, feelings are feelings, not thoughts disguised as feelings. Saying I feel like everyone will judge me is a thought. Saying I feel scared that everyone will judge me is an emotion. Distinguishing between the two is crucial. It's like learning a new language. The more vocabulary you have, the more accurately you can describe your internal world. \n. So, to recap, notice your sensations, name your emotions, separate yourself from your thoughts, and be specific. These are the foundational skills of observation. But mastering them takes practice. And if this feels overwhelming, remember that these are skills we'll break down further in other videos. There's a link in the description to a downloadable list to help you walk through these steps. \n. Now, let's move on to step 2, willingness. \n. This is where things get interesting. Willingness is the secret ingredient, the often overlooked key to unlocking emotional freedom. It's about choosing to allow yourself to feel, even when it's incredibly uncomfortable. Our natural instinct is to escape, to avoid, to distract. But avoidance doesn't eliminate anxiety. It just keeps it simmering beneath the surface, ready to erupt at any moment. \n. Anxiety often whispers a lie, that you're in danger. But more often than not, that's simply not true. You're safe. And by avoiding the anxiety, you're actually reinforcing the belief that it is dangerous. Willingness is the opposite. It's about sitting with the discomfort, leaning into it, and realizing that you can survive it. And in many cases, you'll discover that the anxiety dissipates on its own, like a wave receding from the shore. \n. Let's practice. Take a slow, deliberate breath. Ground yourself in the present moment. Feel your feet on the floor, your back against the chair. Notice your bodily sensations without judgment. If you're in the midst of anxiety and this feels impossible, try exaggerating the sensation. If you're feeling jittery, allow yourself to shake. If you're feeling tense, consciously tighten your muscles. Listen to music that resonates with your emotional state. Or try a brain dump. Simply write down everything that's swirling in your mind without censoring yourself. These are all ways to practice willingness, to create space for your experience, to simply be with what is. \n. Consider Jane with her generalized anxiety. Her tendency is to numb the discomfort with TikTok, Netflix, food, anything to keep her mind occupied. But willingness would look like pausing, turning off the distractions, closing her eyes and asking herself,